Hello and welcome to my channel. This video is going to be my fall TBR. It is a tiny bit late. It is already October, which is not great, but something that a lot of people forget, November is still fall. So this is essentially the TBR that I have for October and November. Personally, in November, I do read fall books, but I also read like Christmas books. So it's kind of the combination of the two. But now I'm obviously going to talk about the fall books that I want to read. I tried to do this a tiny bit differently from when I did my summer TBR because a lot of books that I read from my summer TBR were not good and I didn't like them. And obviously I want to put books that I feel like I'm gonna like. This time around, I tried to do some newer releases. I tried to do some books that I have on my physical TBR. And also I really looked into the average rating, and if a book had a really low average rating, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't add this one. Let's start. I am so excited. I have even done like a spread on my reading journal, which is so cute. I'm obsessed with it. First book that I have is Shut Up and Bite Me by Prue Sculer. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's actually the first time that I'm looking at the name, and it's not an easy name to pronounce. But this is about a female vampire, and she is this leader in a council, something like that. Essentially, every single year, there's one human that offers themselves to the vampires, and one year she sees the guy that is supposed to be like the offer from the humans, and she's like, I want him. And he's actually a very like cute guy. He wears glasses, he's very wholesome, he's very cute, and I am so excited about it. It sounds so good. And lately I have been loving reading about more golden retriever type of guys, and also guys that wear glasses. So that is the first book. I haven't seen anyone talking about it, but the premise of it sounds so good. I had to put it in this. And then I have a book that I actually own, which is In Your Dreams, Holden Roads by Stephanie Archer. Even though I really wanted to put only like vampire books, werewolf books, like some sort of magical book, I decided to put some other ones too. They're not a lot, I am gonna say, but I think that that will help me, especially maybe even in November. This would be like a great book to read in November and not feeling like I'm reading Halloween books, you know? This is the third book in the Queen's Cove series by Stephanie Archer. I have read the first two books. I haven't read the third one and the fourth one, and I really want to finish with that series because I started it years ago. For some reason, I don't know, it wasn't something that I loved. It was, I think both of the books were 3.5 stars. So it's not a series that I have been looking forward to continuing. Like, yes, I want to continue it, but I'm not thinking about it all the time. So I really just want to read this one, and then hopefully by the end of 2026 read the fourth one, or maybe even 2025 read the fourth one. Maybe I'm gonna enjoy this so much that I'm gonna be itching to pick up the fourth one. I also own that, so that's great. If I do actually feel the need to read it, I do have it on my bookshelf. I think that it's childhood friends to, it's not childhood friends lovers. Apparently they inherit the same inn and they're trying to renovate it together. The back says that it's a friends with benefit situation, which it can be good, but it can be bad also. Hopefully this is not gonna be bad. This is gonna be good. Fingers crossed. So this is the second book. And then I have a new release, which is Drawn Together by Juliana Smith. At the time that I'm filming this book came out a couple of days ago, and it sounds so good. I have read only one book from Juliana Smith, and that was, I don't remember the name of it. Oh, it was Baggage, something with baggage, I think. It was a winter holiday sort of book, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. I thought that it was a really good one, and I'm really excited about this one because it has to do with, I think, 2 illustrators, or maybe one of them is an author. Let me look it up. It's a children's book author and a children's book illustrator. The illustrator is the woman and the guy is the author, and I think that the guy helps the woman with kind of understanding and trying to become a better illustrator, something like that. I'm not 100% sure on the specifics, but once I read it, I'm gonna let you know. But it sounds so good. It also sounds so fallish. It takes place in New York, and I just think that one of the most fall places in the world is New York. So I'm very excited about this one. Then another book that I have the physical copy of, it's The Very Secret Society of Regular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I bought this in the beginning of the year, and I really want to read it because I've heard amazing things about this book. I have seen people giving it 5 stars, which I think that a lot of times with books that are supposed to be like about witches and more catered towards Halloween, I don't actually see that many people giving them very high ratings. But this is one of the books that I have seen people raving about. I don't think that I have heard a single bad thing about this book. I think that it's about a witch, and for some reason she becomes famous or viral, something like that, and then she goes to this school in order to teach kids. And I don't know who I saw in the last couple of weeks either recommend this book or read this book, but they said said that our male main character essentially doesn't like her because he thinks that she's not gonna be good for the kids, something like that, and he loves the kids and wants the best for them. So I'm very excited about this one. I hope that I'm gonna like it, but honestly at this point I feel like it's a given that I'm gonna like it. And there is a second book. I don't know if it's in the same universe or it's just another witchy book from the same author, but that's the fourth book on my TBR for fall. And then we have Sweet Home à la Barden Park by DJ O'Shea. I am so excited about this one because it's a sapphic romance. I love a sapphic romance. This sounds so good. I'm saying that, but I actually don't know what it's about. I think that I just saw that it's sapphic. The cover screams fall, and then there's also a black cat. So I was like, sold. But let me actually look it up. This actually has a very high average rating. It's 4.35. I don't really understand what it's about, but one of the characters, she's renovating this estate in order to have people live in it, and I don't know anything else. I didn't understand anything else. Hopefully I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna let you know. The next book is Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. This is about our female main character. She is a witch, and our male main character is a werewolf, and he's having some issues with his wolf, with his inner wolf, I guess. So he's like, oh, I need a powerful witch to help me understand what is going on, help me understand what is the problem, and also help me fix it. So she goes to our female main character, the witch. She has grown up being told that werewolves are bad. So at first she's like, no, I don't want anything to do with you. But she ends up pitying him and she decides to help him. Something that I love about werewolf romances, the whole mate thing. Because obviously they have a mate. That's the whole point of it. There's something about how the authors write the whole realization that, oh, they found their mate, and then everything about it. For some reason, it's so nice to read about mates. I don't know why. It's just, it feels so romantic for me, which is kind of insane, but it is what it is. Then I have Sweets and Sycamores by Ariane Nix, which is about another female witch, and her magic comes to her a tiny bit later in life. So she's kind of out of control. She cannot really control it. So her coven is like, okay, we're sending you away until Halloween. When you come back, you need to have figured out a way to control your magic. And if you have not figured out a way, we're just gonna kick you out. So obviously she doesn't want that. So she goes to this place, and there she meets this guy who, I don't know if he's a wizard or not. I don't know what he is. I'm thinking that he probably is a wizard because she asked him for help. And he also owns a bakery, which is kind of like a micro genre, micro trope that I really like. I love when the guy owns a bakery. I don't know what it is about it. I love when a guy cooks. I love when a guy is a chef of some sort. And I love when he owns a bakery. Something about it works for me. And then I have another witchy book, and that is A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Holley. This is the first book in, I think, a trilogy. I haven't seen like a fourth book being announced, and the third one has been out for a bit. This is obviously about a witch. She does this spell and she actually ends up summoning a demon, and I don't know why, but she cannot send him back for some reason. So she's like, okay, what am I gonna do in order to not get in trouble? I'm gonna pretend that he's my boyfriend and I'm dating him. And it sounds so fun. I'm hoping that I'm gonna like it. I have seen people talking about it, like buying it, but I haven't seen people actually saying how they felt about it. So I'm hoping that that's not a bad thing, but I'm hopeful because first of all, the cover, so cute. Secondly, I love the names of this series. Like every single book, it's a long title, but at the same time, it tells you so many things about the book, and I love that. So I'm very excited about this one. And then we have another sapphic romance, which again, I am so excited about. I love finding sapphic romances that I love, and I also love adding them to my TBR because it keeps me motivated to pick them up, and it also keeps them on my radar because a lot of times I will find a sapphic book and I will just forget about it, but putting it on my TBR, it's always so helpful. Just kind of be, oh, there's also this book. And that book is Learning Curves by Rachel Lacey. I have read 2 more books by Rachel Lacey, and that was like, it was a duology, Read Between the Lines and No Rings Attached. I didn't love them. I prefer the first one. The second one was not good. I think that I gave it around 2.5 maybe. So I didn't like them, but those books were definitely written, I want to say 2022, 2023, and this is obviously a 2025 release, and again another new release, which is another reason why I want to pick it up. I definitely want to read more books that were released in 2025. I feel like I haven't been doing that much of a great job, and I'm pretty sure that this is about teachers. Okay, so this is The Nightcap, which is so exciting. It makes this whole thing even better. And one of our characters used to be the professor of the other one, but now it's years later, and the one that was a student is now also a teacher, I think. She ends up taking one of the classes her old professor wanted, but the old professor ends up not liking her because obviously she feels like this woman just stole the job that she's been pining for. But there is some tension and I am so excited about it. It sounds so good. For some reason, I love a school setting, like when the two characters are teachers or professors, something like that. I don't know why, but it always seems very intriguing to me. And then I have The Marriage Hex by Sarah Blue. This is again another witch ex werewolf romance. I don't know what to tell you. I apparently have a type of full book that I love, and I'm pretty sure that this is also age gap. We have our female main character, she is a witch, and the male main character is a werewolf. So they used to be friends when they were teenagers, but now they don't really talk to each other. But when they were teenagers, they made this pact that if by the time that they were 30 years old, they were both single, they would get married to each other. Now they're 30 years old and they're both single, and somehow making that pact, her magic actually made it a legit pact. So now they need to get married and live together and everything. But the thing is, they're enemies because witches don't like werewolves and werewolves don't like witches, and also he's the alpha of his pack. So if you don't like werewolves, you definitely hate the alpha of them, right? And it sounds so good. I have read a couple of other books from this author. She had a series that was about something about the devil. The whole series was something about devils. Oh, the first book is Your Dad Will Do, My Dad Will Do. No, Your Dad Will Do, something like that. I really enjoyed the first two books in that trilogy. The third one was not for me, but I'm hoping that this one, it's going to be for me. Then I have If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. I feel like this book has been popping off. I have seen so many people reading it, loving it, giving it 5 stars. Even people that are a bit more harsh when they rate books, they're still giving this 4 stars, and I am so excited. They are saying that it's very similar to Gilmore Girls. Personally, I haven't watched that show, but I feel like I can understand what they're saying. Like, it does seem like a very cozy book, and I think that's what they mean where they're saying that it feels like the show. Something that scares me a tiny bit is that this book takes place in the 90s. Usually I don't love to read books that take place before I was born, basically, because I don't know what was going on back then. Like, I obviously was not born. I don't know what was going on. I'm hoping that it's not gonna be as obvious. Like, I'm not gonna feel like I don't understand the time period, because it's not like it takes place in the 50s. I feel like the 90s are still pretty recent, saying it there are 35 years ago, but you know, they're still pretty recent. But I'm really excited, and I know that he's a single dad and he also owns a bakery. He definitely owns some sort of like maybe coffee shop, but I think that it's a bakery, and that makes me really excited. So I am planning on reading it, but I am a tiny bit scared that it takes place in the 90s. Then I have Road Trip with a Vampire by Jenna Levine. I am so excited about this book. It came out a week ago, I think. This is the 3rd book, and I think the final book in the My Vampire series. I have read the first 2 books. The first one was My Roommate is a Vampire, and the second one is My Vampire Plus One, and I have loved them. The first one I gave it 4 stars, and the second one I gave it 4.5. I think that they're done so well. They're not the classic vampire romance where it's a tiny bit more serious, I guess. These are very silly, goofy time, and I'm obsessed with them. I love the characters. I love how the whole thing is done, and I'm very excited about this one because so far with the first 2 books, the female main character was a human and the male main character was a vampire. With this book, the male main character is a vampire, but the female main character is a witch, I think, and I'm actually very curious about it. I feel like it's gonna add something more to the story, and I'm very, very excited about it. It sounds so good, and I'm hoping that we're gonna get more books along this sort of line. But at the same time, I feel like if an author does the same thing again and again, it kind of gets boring. But at the same time, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So there's that. And then I have A Love Like Pumpkin Spice by Haley Frost. This is the first book in a series, actually, in the Wayward Hollow series, but our female main character character, she ends up fighting her fiance with her sister in bed. So she goes to this small town and she's like, I'm gonna do a fresh start. I'm gonna start from the beginning and I am not gonna be a people pleaser. I'm not gonna be nice just for the sake of being nice. I'm gonna try and be the person that I actually want to be and not the person that I am. But the book description of the book says that her past comes back. I'm thinking that that's probably gonna be her ex coming to this town and trying to find her. But essentially she ends up fake dating the vet of the town, which is, again, very exciting. I did say that I love when a guy is a chef, a baker, anything like that. I also love when he's a vet because I'm like, are you joking? He saves animals. What more could you want? But this is definitely one of the books that I haven't heard anyone talking about, but it sounded so good. It sounded so wholesome. It sounded also kind of like a Hallmark movie. And another micro trope, I guess, that I really love is when the female main character gets cheated on. I think it might be because obviously when you get cheated on, it's the lowest of the lowest that can happen. It's one of the worst things I'm guessing in a relationship that can happen. At least that's how I see it. So then going from the lowest of lows to a very great relationship, I love seeing that really big change, and I love seeing the female main character understanding that her previous relationship was shit. So I'm very excited about this one. And then I have The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson, another werewolf book, but in this one both of our characters are werewolves. He's an alpha and she's an omega, and I think that they're both working together. He's a doctor and she's a nurse, or maybe a doctor too, and for some reason I think that they end up fake dating. Oh yeah, it says The Fake Mate. For some reason they end up fake dating. I don't know why, but I'm gonna find out. And I really am excited about this one because I saw Ellen Catherine read this 2 years ago, I think, and she read this after reading Bride by Ali Hazelwood, which is one of my 5-star reads, like 6-star reads. And she also gave Bride 5 stars, and she actually also gave this one 5 stars. So I'm very excited and I'm very curious and hopeful at the same time that this one is also gonna be at least like a 4 stars for me. I haven't read anything from Lana Ferguson. I have listened to a novella that she has with Spotify, but other than that I haven't read anything else from her. I think that she has 5 books out. Pretty much all of them sound so good, so I'm very curious. Then I have The Heartbreak Hotel by Ellen O'Clover. This is again a very hyped book. I think that this and If It Makes You Happy and also Drawn Together, I think that those are the 3 most hype books of all this year. I don't know why they got so much hype. I think that it definitely has to do with the covers because they are gorgeous. But this is about a female main character and she bought this house with her husband, but they end up getting a divorce, and she's like, I don't want anything else from you. I just want you to give me the house. So she ends up getting the house, but she cannot really afford it. So she's like, okay, which now thinking about it, it doesn't make sense because if she owns the house, then how does she have a landlord? Maybe she's renting? Anyway, minor details. I'm gonna figure it out when I read the book. But essentially her landlord is like, okay, you need to leave if you cannot afford it. And she ends up asking him to give her a chance and help her renovate the house so that she can actually make it like an inn of some sort. I might be fully wrong about it because, like I said, I thought that she owned the house, and if she does own it, it doesn't make sense for her to have a landlord. So I'm definitely mixing something up, but it's something along those lines and it sounds really fun. I am pretty sure that he's also a very grumpy guy, and even though I have been loving my more golden retriever guys, I do still love like a grumpy male main character. So I'm very excited about this one. And then I have Afterglow by Emily Antoinette. This is kind of insane. Essentially we have a female main character and she wants to explore her sexuality, so she ends up having this friends with benefits situation with a vampire, because why the heck not? And something about the cover spoke to me. Something about being a sapphic romance again also spoke to me, and one of our characters being a vampire. Then I have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I really want to read this. I have heard incredible things about this, like genuinely incredible things. Everyone has been giving it 5 stars ever since it came out. I haven't seen a single negative review, which makes me really excited because this has the accidental pregnancy trope, which I know that for a lot of people it's not a favorite. I get it, I can understand it. It's not my favorite when it's after the middle of the book. I mean, I would say that it's only my favorite when it's in the beginning of the book actually, and it's the reason why they spend more time together. I don't like it when they are together already and then they become pregnant. But with this book we have our 2 main characters. They meet at a party, they have a one night stand, and our female main character, she she realizes that, oh, I got pregnant, we need to co-parents and raise this kid together. And I am very curious about it because I think that both of the two characters have some sort of disability, I think, and I'm really curious to see how it's done and also learn about it a bit more. And I have also heard that the friendship that these two characters have is also really good, and again, that's something that I really love. So I'm very excited about this one, and hopefully it's going to be a 5-star. My battery died, so if there's a change in the angle, that's why. But we have reached the final book. It literally died with one book left, and that is Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt. I actually had another Tara DeWitt book in my summer TBR, which was Savor It, and I ended up reading it and I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought that it was really fun. It's not 100% my type of writing, like it's not the writing that I love, but I still had so much fun with it, and I really want to read more Tara DeWitt books. She doesn't have like a crazy amount of books, so I feel like I can read all of them. I have already read 2, and I think that she has 3 more, and one of them is this one. This one, for some reason, the cover makes me think of fall, especially maybe even November. That's the month that this book is giving me, so maybe I'm gonna read it in November actually. But this is about a comedian and her manager, who is also a single dad, I think. For some reason they end up fake dating. I have heard really good things about this book. This is 300 pages. I think that it's going to be really easy for me just start reading it and also finish it in one sitting. And after that, I'm gonna have 2 books left from this author. There's something about finishing an author's backlist. There's nothing like it. I love it. This is the last book. I do have only 18 books because, to be honest, that's the amount of books that I could fit in a spread. I would love to do 20 just to have a round number, but I could not fit 2 more books in here. And I also think that 20 books might be a tiny bit too much. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read 20 books. I was kind of in a slump, in a reading slump, but not because I didn't want to read. It's just I was, well, I mean, I didn't want to read. I felt like that was the last thing that I could do right now because I was so down bad mentally, and I had so many things going around me that the last thing that I could actually sit down and think about was reading and picking up a book. That is starting to change. I'm starting to get back out of it, and I'm very excited because I have some great books to read. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I talked about. I feel like some of you might already have read If It Makes You Happy, or maybe some of the like older books, and by older I mean books that were not released this year. So if you have read any of the books that I talked about, let me know what you thought about them. And also, if you have another book that screams fall, let me know. Maybe if I do end up actually reading all of these, I might need more books. But yeah, that's all I had to say. Those are like the books that I want to read this full time. I have 2 months to do that. Hopefully I will read a good chunk of them. But yeah, I hope that you liked this video, and I hope that I will see you in my next one. Bye!
You give me butterflies when you smile, and it feels so